Do you think I need to go and paint that yellow BR, bruv?
Arms house to your mum's house. Arms house to your mum's to your mum's to your mum's. Arms house to your mum's house. Arms house to your mum's to your arms house to your mum's house.
This is episode. What's going on?
All good, man. What, episode 97, right? Yeah. Yes, 97.
Yeah, episode 97. 100%.
Mom's house to your mom's house.
Bring mom's house to your mom's house.
Seems like forever since we've done it here in the
I know, yeah, it's feeling good though, man. I'm pleased about that.
Am I loud enough, Dean? Am I all right? Volume-wise,
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay? Yo.
Yeah, very loud and clear, old boy. How about myself?
Okay, good.
Check 1, 2 to the 3.
You're fine. Yeah, all good, brother. All right, we've
On
got
the NYC.
lots and lots to chat about. We got music, we got graph critique coming at the end. We haven't done graph critique in a while. Oh no, we did a couple last episode on the rooftop. That was a fun episode up on the roof. Up on the roof.
But we're very tired, so we're having an episode at all where it all started.
Exactly. Some of you might have noticed on the Instagram, we linked up with Trapy not too long ago, about a week ago now, right?
Trapinator.
Yeah, so he he calls it a roadcast, but it's not really long form. We sat with him for fucking hour and a half, 2 hours? How long were we there?
Yeah, it was a long one. Fucking hell, Trap. It was a long one, son!
We were there for fucking ages, man. We recorded a shit ton of chatting. But he snips them up into like a minute, 2 minute bits, and he puts them up on the Instagram. I don't know where else he puts them up, but so if you want to go check that out, go follow.
I think he said he just does it on the gram, you know.
I think
he's
so.
He's just busting it on the gram.
But also YouTube Shorts, I think
he's a top geezer, that geezer. He's a top boy.
He's Trappy 7246.
He's a proper lemon squeezer.
At Trappy, Trapy 7246. The link will be below. Go follow him on Instagram if you don't already. And I think that's a good link up as well, because he's quite, he's got quite a few followers. Or he used to. He's got a mad history. I didn't really know much about him, man. Obviously, I've seen his graph all over London and beyond. And I've started following him maybe a couple years ago on Instagram. He's an entertaining guy. He's a funny fucker.
He is a joker.
He does tattoos and all that stuff. But I think I heard that he said to us he had a page that had 50,000 followers. I think he was on TV for something. I have no idea what all that stuff is, but apparently he had a big following, all that, and then he lost it all because he was being too edgy on the gram, so it got taken away from him or something. Again, I have no idea, but now he's rebuilding his brand and he's doing his thing and he's got big plans for the future. So yeah, follow him, and he's a funny fucking guy as well. He's a joker.
Yeah, he is a top guy. He's a funny guy. He's got some good stories.
He's got like mad tattoos on his face and the gold rims on his teeth and shit. And yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check that out, man. What else been happening? You were wanting to talk about the boxing, right?
Oh yeah, AJ got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
We got a Latina getting a beer out the freezer.
Tell her hello. What's up?
Man, he says hello.
Hi.
What's up?
How are you?
All good.
He says he's very good. Thank you so much.
But yeah, AJ got knocked the fuck out, man. Shit, I only saw the highlights.
AJ got knocked the fuck out.
It was kind of humiliating. He got knocked down in the first round, second round, third round. Shit.
There was this interview, but they get the fighters into interview now, like sit them around a table and stick it on YouTube.
Oh yeah. The
literally head to head. Yeah, they're quite good. It's all fucking brilliant.
Just a high part.
AJ kind of schooled him, like lyrically.
Hold on.
On the ting.
Who I know AJ. Obviously, I've heard of AJ. I've never heard of the other guy. Who is the other guy? Have you got a little
Daniel
bit?
Dubois.
Yeah. What's he done? Like, where's he from? What country? And
he is from England.
Okay.
So it's a clash of two English heavyweight boxers.
Mm.
And he's like been in the wings. People have been saying like he can go on to have a wicked career. Like watch out for him. But then he lost. He lost to Usyk, who's like that ridiculously sick boxer
Who AJ
who's
beat,
beat
right?
everyone, who's unbeaten. No, who beat AJ twice
Oh, right, yeah.
and beat Tyson Fury, and then said, "Yo, I'm chilling." Do you know what I mean? What? Like he's the bad man from Ukraine.
And he's a joker as well.
And he lost against this guy, something Joe from New Zealand, who's like a decent boxer, a very good boxer. So he had them two losses, but people were saying, you know, like his coaches and that were saying that he's going to be fucking sick. He's going to be fucking sick because you see the size of him.
Yeah,
like, he's just like kind of as big as AJ in that, but he's, you know, he's 27, which in heavyweight is very young.
Yeah,
like very young, not very young, but very young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they're in the
Tyson Fury's 35, you know, AJ's 34, 35, like heavyweights, kind of 32, 33. That's like at your peak of being a heavyweight. Because you've still got a bit of everything, speed and power and this and this.
And experience and knowledge. And,
you got a bit of everything. Yeah.
So they're
so he went in there and this, like that thing where they sit around the table, obviously it all kicks off. I don't know if it always has to kick off, but obviously it kicks off.
They want to get the ratings. They want to get people watching. So
exactly.
Kick off. Yeah.
All of that shit.
Yeah.
But AJ said, "I'll wrap this chair around your face. Don't disrespect me, Dan." Like tried to be like, well, bad man, like well, cool. Like don't disrespect me, Daniel. Don't disrespect me. I will wrap this chair around your face, but don't disrespect. And Daniel Dubois was just saying, "Who are you to talk to me like that? Who do you think you are? I'm not intimidated by you. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
Anyway, AJ acted like a big bad man, and then he goes in that ring. And as soon as I saw Dubois ring walk, I was thinking, looking like AJ. I don't know what it is about AJ. Like he's a likable person. He's a likable guy.
Yeah.
He's beaten Klitschko. You know what I mean? He got beaten by Andy Ruiz. He's like that fat Mexican geezer. Fucking that geezer beat him. You know what I mean? He got beaten by Usyk. And then he knocked out that mixed martial art fighter in one round. That was his last fight. But that guy was like his second professional boxing fight.
Mm.
I mean, so he had to knock him out.
What's been AJ's most convincing win? Because I can't think of one where AJ just pummeled the shit out of some cunt.
Oh, no, yeah. There'd be dudes, like a couple of dudes like that, journeyman dudes when you come up. He did beat some good guys. He's Olympic gold medalist.
Oh, yeah. He was in the Olympics, yeah.
Anyway, when I saw Dubois' ring walk, I thought, holy shit, he looks like, you know what I mean? He's actually quite a likable guy.
Mm.
You see, when they ask him questions and that, he's just like, yeah, I came to, you know, it's got nothing like, you know what I mean, fake about him.
Mm.
Just genuine, open geezer. And he fucked him up on the first round.
Yeah, fucked him up, man.
Yeah, his ancestors felt the tump. There's one of them ones that just massive tump. And AJ got through it, but went down like 4 times in 5 rounds.
Nuts.
Absolutely schooled. Some of the comments are so joke.
People saying he's like
really
he was like Ray Gunn. You know Ray Gunn when she was breakdancing.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
She's on the floor, and it's like that was what he looked like.
Because he did one of those ones as well. You know, if you're playing football or whatever, and your ankle goes over like that.
He rolled his ankle. Yeah, fuck.
I hate that. But he managed to blag it a bit.
Yeah. The thing what gets to me about AJ, man, of course, he's a great athlete. And yeah, like you said, he came from the Olympic gold and all that stuff. And he's like a pretty boy. He's really handsome. All the ladies love him. And he's, you know, he speaks well. He's eloquent and he's, you know, nice. He's a nice guy. He comes across as like a nice, genuine dude. So I can see why everyone fawns over him. But I never found him to be intimidating at all. I never saw a fight where he completely dominated like a really good boxer. He avoided fighting Fury. Everyone wanted to see AJ versus Fury. And he just like, and I know Fury was all up for it, man. And AJ was just blagging it, saying, nah. I don't know what reasons he gave, but they weren't convincing. AJ, I just never understood. Like, I don't know. I guess he's just a good boxer.
I've seen him pummel boxers.
Yeah.
Just can't remember who they are because he's just walked through them. But
that was it. When AJ got sparked by the fat Mexican dude, like when he hit the top of his head, and
Andy Ruiz.
Yeah. I was like, yo,
absolutely mugged him.
I love that, man. That shit was amazing to me, man.
Mugged him.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, yeah. Do you think that's the end of AJ's career? He'll be back.
He says it's not. He says it's not.
I reckon he'll be
back. But fuck me. I mean, I reckon, like, I'd be thinking about it.
It was humiliating, man, from what I saw.
It was like, meeting your little brother's bully. Do you know what I mean? Who's like 3 years younger than you and just fucking devastated, like bullied him.
Fucking his shit up.
That's what I get about AJ. All these kind of chats about like, it's a different AJ this time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm more serious now. And you get me like, man's on it. We're going back and we're coming again. And we're built up. And then within like, during that fight, he's getting licks. AJ, you are getting licks, bruv. And you're looking to the side and like chatting to people and like going like this. You know what I mean? And chatting to the crowd. Sticking his tongue out against Dubois and all this, like smiling when he's getting licked. So, bruv, you look shit.
Yeah.
Someone's like, that geezer dominated you, bruv. Don't know what all that's about when you're trying to say you're all serious. This is a new AJ. As soon as you get licked, you never. He doesn't know what to do. Like, he doesn't hold. He doesn't stand with his hands up. He's like, when he walks up to Dubois like this, his right hand's here. And even worse, you never walk in throwing an uppercut. Like it's never your one punch. It's never the first punch like this. And that's why, man. He didn't even need much space. He just complete 100% accuracy on the bottom of the chin. Just from a heavyweight geezer. Not even a massive like swing. Just a perfect boxing punch.
That's what I was
the game of boxing. And fucking there, and just you saw how fucked he was. Bang! It was ridiculous.
Couldn't get up, man.
I would be like, yo, man, I have to allow it now.
I mean, look,
just go and eat tacos with Andy Ruiz and do like YouTube videos about that.
I mean, AJ is always going to be good. Like I said, he's a good-looking guy. He's good on TV and stuff, so he'll always have a career, whatever he does. But at the end of the day,
AJ's all right already, bruv. He's probably worth like 20 mil or something like that.
No, I know. But with boxing, it's all about who's going to sell tickets, really, at the end of the day. And I think AJ could still, if you find if it's Tyson Fury or someone like that, I reckon they could make it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People would still buy it.
Yeah.
And do you know what the English are kicking off about? I see some of those like comments. What's going on with playing like the Saudi national anthem, before, because this is in England, bruv. I was thinking this is so brilliant, bruv. You could hear them in the background I mean, it's so dope.
Wait, it was in Riyadh, right? It was in Saudi.
No, it was in Wembley, bruv.
Oh,
I can see it from there, Wembley.
Oh, sick. Okay.
And what were we just talking about? Saudi, the Saudi geezer's there.
Yeah.
And he's organised it, but if he wasn't organising it, none of this shit would be happening. But he's made some sick fights happen, this geezer.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is the prince or something like that.
Probably.
And because he's like your highness, like they played his shit first, you know what I mean? So before God Save the King, that was before that, all that shit, you know what I mean? They played his tune first.
That's a pimp move from the Saudi guy.
Hey, that is a yellow imchi. Big
bro.
man move. That is a big man move.
That's deep. All right, man. I mean, allow boxing, man. You said you had some news articles or something.
Yeah, but AJ got busted in the face, bro. It looks so bad.
Yeah.
It looks so bad.
It did.
That's the thing about boxing, mate. Imagine playing football and you get spanked 6-0. There's like 11 of you. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All played shit. All the coach is going to go mental at you. Look, if you get knocked out on the fucking television like that, I've always thought it's so joke.
That's part of it.
It's so joke. If he did a million things, I would never remember them. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I'm going to remember that.
The way he went down.
The Mexican hit him, man. That's even worse, I think. Just he was so fat and short. You know what I mean? That guy.
You get a couple of losses like that in boxing. You lose against a fat Mexican geezer.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
Fucking hell. I just remember him for stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it's a fickle world, man.
But he's gone out there, boxed, risked his life, and made millions of fucking pounds, bruv. Like,
yeah,
it's way more than I was just thinking about. Am I being a dick saying he's worth 20 mil? AJ's probably worth fucking 200 mil.
At least over 100 mil. That's without a doubt, 100%. With all his fucking deals with Adidas and fucking whoever else, man, he's making bare money, man, without a doubt.
WalesOnline.co.uk. Wales Online. Yeah. They say 63.5 million.
Okay, well, there we go.
Which is a lot of money. But what do they know in Wales about AJ, bruv? The Watford Don.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just...
Yeah. So I was... fuck AJ, bruv. You got knocked out. We're moving on, bruv.
Let's go. Wait, hold on.
Listen. If AJ sees this, I'm not bringing arms out. Only Amber's bringing the arm. I'm not bringing arms out.
Come on, let me at him. I'll fuck him up.
Jesus Christ! Imagine seeing AJ around London and just be like, yo.
Mate, his hands are so big, he probably just backhand slap both of us in one go, man. We go flying, bro. Like the Street Fighter, the end of Street.
Yeah, he's a fucking unit, isn't he, AJ? Fuck.
But he's a teddy bear. He's a nice guy, man. He won't kick.
So moving on from GayJ.
Yeah.
I was thinking, are these two kids writers?
Yeah.
Because someone went and do you remember me nicking the bus?
Yeah.
These guys battered it, bruv. They were in New York.
Yeah.
They went in and started a train and managed to drive it like 50 meters.
From the yard?
I don't know if from somewhere in Queens.
Okay.
NY teens joyriding and crashing a subway train.
Oh, no, they were arrested. 2 teens arrested after stealing NYC train and crashing it. Jeez.
Is that what your one says? Stealing it?
Yeah. Joyriding. This is on the BBC News Network. New York police have arrested 2 teenagers they suspected of joyriding and crashing an empty subway train. A girl and boy, both aged 17, are charged with criminal mischief and reckless endangerment. They are accused of entering and operating the train, then caused a collision, after which they fled on foot. No injuries were reported in the incident at Briarwood Station in Queens shortly after midnight on 12th of September. It remains unclear how the pair gained access to the train. They were able to drive the vehicle about 50 feet, 15 meters. Okay, that's pretty much it now, man.
No, then there's some geezer goes on to, how do they operate the train?
I mean, isn't it just a lever going forward and the brake?
No, I don't think it is, bro.
No, I think
surely it's not just like everyone says that, isn't it? They get paid 50 grand a year, yeah, and you just go like that, bro. Do you know what I mean? And then you just pull it back.
No, it takes heavy. I've got a mate who's a train driver. He drives for Southern Railways or whatever. It takes years of training and all that stuff, of course. But if you just want a train to move forward, I reckon, obviously the training comes with how to stop in time and what, all the train. But I think just to move the train forward, if
you're going to there's only one controller.
If the train is running, I'm picturing it that the train was pulled into a station and the driver left for some reason. Yeah. And then they went fuck it. And they jumped in the train. And then the train was already running and everything. They didn't have to switch it on.
They just pushed the lever.
You know what I mean? Maybe they pulled a few things, pressed a few things. They went like that. And then it went, whoa, and they went, hey. And the next thing they know, they're like, fuck, we can't stop it. And then they're like, and then
I can't believe no one's done that in
it must have happened. It must have happened in London.
That's what I did. But that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
But then I can't think of any story I've heard where someone was joyriding with the London Underground.
Yeah, no, I can't think of one either, but...
And surely we would have heard it a million times over.
True. Although we've said this before, I used to, on my way home from school on the district line in the 90s, you'd go to the last carriage and break into the driver's bit, which would always be at the end of the train. And you could always sit in the driver's seat and bun a zoot, but you wouldn't press any buttons.
No, you had to get a reach in the glass.
Yeah, scratch it in.
You had to get a reach in the glass. Yeah, that was sick. Sick. I've done that. Do you remember when you could push the fire extinguisher?
Exactly, yeah. Reach in.
And then reach in and undo that and then just go in. Yeah. I've done that and gone in and looked at the glass and there's been theme reaches scratched in already. I swear on my children's life I've done that. And I was like, yo, boy. But then, people used to go from Gunnersbury to Richmond to go to Richmond College.
Yeah.
Surfing on the rails on the back.
Yeah. Jump on the back or
surfing on the rails, bruv. They used to jump onto the back of District Line and then just jump down. And I don't know what they would, but fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, I was never a daredevil like that, man. Like trying to risk my shit, like jumping on the top of a moving train and shit. Fuck all that, man. But
I never did that. I think Buds might have done that,
mate. In the Yan episode,
I think Buds might have done that.
Oh yeah,
like some of the FLS lot. Yeah.
We used to, on the last train, open the door so that you'd see the tracks going away from you, because obviously you're on the last carriage at the back. And then we'd open the door, catch tags on the door, but then we'd grab the thing, take a toke on the zoot, hold it in like that, and then grab the rails on either side of the door and then lean forward like that, just so your head is over the track like that. And go,
stick it.
And blow the smoke like that, come back in. Go,
what's that got to do with the marijuana? I love that when you're reunion.
Yeah. No, you get a head rush, man. You get a head rush, bro.
You'd get a head rush if you were just breathing oxygen doing that.
True,
bro.
yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? What you got to do, you got to hold the zoot, yeah? You've been doing so many things like that.
Yeah, just hold it in.
You got to hold the zoot, yeah? What was that? Everyone passed the zoot round, you could blow it out when it got back to you.
I used to call it Past the Dragon or something.
But that was like the heroin version.
Yeah, I know, but for weed, we used to call it Past the Dragon, but it was called Traffic Lights. I remember it being called that. I remember it being called Puff Puff Pass or whatever, and
Puff. Yeah, we're gonna play Puff Puff Pass. Yeah, Puff Puff Pass. Yeah, everyone get round in a circle. Yeah, Puff Puff Pass. Yeah, some dirty hash suit wrapped in red Rizzlers and that.
And that was mainly spawned out of no one could afford to buy a draw for themselves. I'm talking. This is when we're 13, 14. So everyone chipped in for a 10 draw. Everyone would you'd roll one zoot and you'd have to share it between 5 of you. Yeah, everyone's chipped in a couple of nuggets, and so that's why this came into. This is one of the main reasons. So everyone gets high off the zoot. You have to hold it in till it comes back round to you. You know what I mean? And then someone starts fucking around with the zoot. And you're like, hurry up, man! Fucking hold it.
Yeah. And just when you were talking, have you ever had this? You might not remember it.
Yeah.
When that shit hash.
Yeah.
We called it pox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes when you were burning pox, either in a zoot in one of them big white Rizzler zoots, with full of hash, the thickness of the smoke sometimes coming off the zoot, or even when you lit the pox a little bit before you could take it off and crumble it, even from just doing that, the thickness of the smoke coming off the rest of the hash when the little bit of the flame goes out. I used to remember thinking, what the fuck is this? It would be thick, grey, cloudy, thick, luscious smoke. You'd be like, what? Fuck it out.
Yeah, but not nice. Yeah, exactly.
And even at 17, 18, 19, I'm like, this is not marijuana. No. What the fuck are we smoking? But sometimes the thickness coming off someone's dirty, massive hash suit, and they were showing off like a house party or saying, look how much hash I'm going to put in.
Yeah.
Of course, they put bare browns as well, and it's they build an L. The L, even if you're using thin Rizzlers, the bit around the L is thick as dick. You know what I mean?
Benson and Hedges or Marlboro thingies.
Gold straight, because if you had Marlboro Lights, you're getting slapped.
You're a pussy, yeah. Or what's it called? The Silk Cut.
But I'd allow if you had Camel, man. If people had Camel, for some reason, it was all right, safe, yes.
Yeah. Safe on the Camel.
But the thickness of the... Can you ever remember anything like that? That pox was just... I wonder what... Finding all those bits of cling film inside the pox.
and you have to pick it out from inside. I remember finding bits of tire in there, bits of wood in there. I remember finding fucking like, traces. Of
What is box? I'd love to know. Is it what you're saying just there? Yeah. Is it like the hash after the hash after the hash? After they squeeze it through again, fizz it through again, squeeze it again until they're just like where people are standing making all that hash. They're like standing on bits of bark and shit. All that goes into like the last bit. They just take it off the floor with all like these leaves. But I always thought, where does the plastic? If you were making hash and you were separating it with plastic. Obviously, you'd make like huge trays and then like have like a smooth, like proper lid over the top. There was like hash, like plastic bits, like
inside,
in no sé qué, no sé cuándo, just where they want. You know what I mean? Like whatever's going on in the hash.
Mate, it was disgusting.
Weird. Like, why was that fucking there?
We should do an episode because there's so much to talk about. Like that era in the mid to late 90s when we weren't spoilt for choice here. It was either shitty, chocolate weed, which was halfway decent if you get your hands on it, or pox. Remember, it was like, and then skunk started coming in, people would go to
the way you sold that was that's what it was, bro.
It was literally that's all we had,
It was
and then
chocolate,
chocolate
pox.
Literally that was it. And then we'd go to Amsterdam and we'd be like, why the fuck don't we have that in London? We'd be like, it's only like an hour flight away or whatever. And we like, a different world when it came to weed. All the choices, all the different types and the hashes and the skunks and all this stuff. And then eventually it started coming here slowly. And then we started getting more choice. And I remember like when it came to hash, that was the red seal, the squidgy black, some people would call it, but red seal or gold seal. That was when I was like, this pox we've been smoking is absolutely dirty filth. I was like, this is the puro, man. Like,
imagine how dog shit like just basic red seal was back then. It was just basic but it was so many levels above pox.
So many, man.
I remember thinking that about. Thinking something about Amsterdam, people bringing stuff back from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Back in the day. When they brought back like zoots of punk, there were people like, we were kids, we'd like bring back baggies with like, this one's like 0.4 grams of, this thing, and this one's like White Widow, like 1 gram, I've got 1 gram of that, and then like all like wrapped in a sock and brought back.
This is 0. They mix cocaine with the
all that shit, and you're like, okay, we're gonna all have a blaze, I brought it back for you, man, rare. When the hash came out, you were always like, oh shit. There was like there was a noticeable difference between the punk, obviously.
Crazy.
But like, punk was just like overly wormily crazy. But the hash, you were like, yo, they got like hash, which is like nice, like tasty, different hashish.
And me being an Arab, man, I prefer my hash, you know what I mean? And I used to go to Syria back in the day. My older cousins, they used to sneak off and bun zoots and I'd try and get in there with them, but they wouldn't allow me, man.
What are people like who love marijuana? All them people like, you never bun it with the Browns.
Yeah.
I don't bun any marijuana with the Browns anymore, but that's because I have that little fucking bong tin.
Yeah.
But what do people do who want to have hash?
Well, there's different.
What kind of you have to have a zoot with Browns in it?
Well, there's like different implements you can use, like bong type stuff where you can smoke that stuff. That's one way of doing it.
Just for the people who weren't born in the early 80s, having a Browns is having a cigarette.
Yes.
Beg you allow me a Browns means please set me a cigarette so I can build my zoot.
Yes, and some people there's tobacco alternatives. There's other stuff. Remember that stuff you used to buy in hippie heaven and other stuff that was like more organic or whatever.
Herbal high.
Yeah, or there's pipes. I know hash is good in a pipe. And remember like hot knives as well. You'd make like this but
that's not like you're 41 years old. You're gonna get like the hot knives. Like, I'm talking about like how do people smoke the hashish?
Yeah, I mean.
Has to be a pipe or something.
Or they'd get like the really blandest weed they can get and use that as tobacco then put the fucking
maybe I could do that because that's what I used to do when I used to put like a little bit of punk in and then try and put just like a thin bit of hash in there.
But you lose like the boom thing about
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Those kind of hashes have such incredible flavors and like depths. It's like fucking coffees. You know what I mean, an array of like sick things are gone. Those kind of people aren't having the tobacco in their thing. I'm sure of it.
No,
Just
they're probably
thinking, how are
smoking
these
it
man
in pipes and shit, man. I mean, I guess. I mean, fuck
just
knows,
in
man.
pipes?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, God knows.
Never
And you
see
see
people
some
smoking like
people,
hash pipes.
you know, on Instagram, there are like people whose whole thing is about weed and different ways to roll the zoots and
You know
shit.
how when they're taking their bong and there's like this new bong.
Yeah. No, but the zoots.
Oh my
the type-
god! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god! They're always American.
And the types of zoots some people are rolling, like they'll fill it with like
Yeah.
a fucking half ounce of weed, and the zoot is like a baseball bat, and then they'll like dip it in some like herb, like some weed fucking like, residue, and then they'll get a long stringy bit of hash, and then they'll wrap the hash around the zoot, and then they'll spark it. And I'm like, what are you? You want to die, man? You're gonna overdose. I've never heard anyone overdose on.
But do you remember back in the day when you said, "Oh, this is like Simon, yeah, Simon." You remember Simon?
Yeah. Don't say
dudes
no.
like that. So this is Big S, yeah. This is Simon.
Yeah.
No one blazes like him, bruv. Do you know what I mean? That was like a badge of honor for such a long time. No. You know your man. You know your mate like Rare who think they blaze, yeah. Them lads don't know about anything about blazing.
I had a mate like that as well.
Yeah, everyone had mates. I had bare mates like that. And they just say, no, don't talk to him. You know, he buns way more than you. It was just like a thing, like an actual sentence. Bruv, he buns it down much harder than you. No, I bun it down way harder than him, bruv. Like getting heated arguments about it.
And we used to grade each other on our rolling as well. Like be like, yeah, what everyone would roll a zoot, and they'd be like, oh, that's a C grade. Oh, that's an A+ there. Mate, we used to go crazy with it, man. And make bongs and all sorts.
Can't bun your zoots, bruv, because you're roaches, man. They're so thin and tiny, bruv. You're like a dickhead, man. Always like that.
We should do a weed episode where we just chat about weed experiences and the history of weed in London and all that stuff. I would love to get into that. I'll do a bit of research. Maybe you guys listening, whether you smoke weed or not, like if you have any questions you want to send us in a voice note to the email or the Instagram. All the links are below. Send us in questions. If we want to do a weed episode, you can ask us questions about Graff or ask us questions about life and love and relationships.
We're going to help you out.
Anything
We're clearly qualified enough to help you out.
Fuck, I should have a question ready from someone, man. Shit.
But that's a good idea, Ambs. And then you could have what's like the maddest mission you've done to go and get a draw. Do you know what I mean? I've had so many of those, so many things like that.
Isn't it?
Where you're on some mad, ridiculous thing. If you was older, you'd be thinking, what the fuck are you doing, son?
Isn't it, man?
To go and get a cue for the man then.
All right,
what, Ambrosia?
Let's go into a question, a listener's question. Then we'll go into, and then I got something to chat about. All right, let's go. Check it out.
Yo, Mr. Ambrosia and Mr. Themos.
Salute.
Here's a question for you. What is your favourite trackside reach? And what's your first memory of it? Is it the Funky 5? Is it Turnham Green Tunnel? Is it the East Acton Bridge? Is it the White City Pit? Hit us with it, yo.
We've kind of answered this question, I think, on the pod.
I don't know. What did he say? The sickest trackside reach?
Just your first favourite trackside, the first one that you got into. And obviously, I'm going to say the train on my way to school, the Eleanor Wilkinson wall, had Diet, Asia, Praise, Mean, Heist. Who else was on that wall? Fucking Bear People back then. I know Fume had a thing on there.
Is that your favorite reach? Was it? The question? What's your favorite reach?
No,
like
your
overall?
first favorite. Let's listen to it again. But I'm pretty sure he said your first favorite trackside.
Yo, Mr. Ambrosia and Mr. Themos. Here's a question for you. What is your favourite trackside reach? And what's your first memory of it? Is it the Funky 5? Is it Turnham Green Tunnel?
So what's your favourite trackside and what's your first memory of it?
Man's asking what the favourite trackside
I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that one. The fucking...
Funky 5 ting.
Not Funky 5, the Eleanor Wilkinson wall. There's a girls' school called Eleanor Wilkinson. The District line and the Piccadilly line went past there. It was the first trackside mission that I did with Frez. Another story I've told on the pod because my Arabic
has that still got Graff there on the back and it's fenced off?
Still got
Is that
Graff.
what that is?
on the wall, but they've put a fence now, a metal 3-prong
On the
metal
wall.
fence on top of the wall now, so no one can paint on it. It's still got a frizz on there, but everything else, it's all bushes and overgrown now, so it's not really a reach. I know Asthma and a couple other heads have got stuff on the other side. There's a little box there, but on that
But
side,
it's not a
that
reach
wall,
anymore. It's not a reach.
Nah,
but
it's
Frez
not
has still got something there.
there's a yellow frizz. You can just see it between the vines. Like if you on the winter when there's no leaves on it, you can see it. Yeah.
Because I did used to like that reach, but it's not the best reach.
It's not the best, but it's an early one of mine, and it was a favorite. I used to go past it every day. There were some nice bits on there.
Yo,
and it used to
do
get
you
done quite a
remember
lot.
the Barons Court West Kent
The ledge?
Oh
man,
back in the day.
That was
And not back in the day, like in the late 90s.
Yeah.
When it was, man, some of the names on there, bro.
That had everyone.
And it was so long.
And I always wanted to do it. I got so mad when you did it without me, man. You and Diet did it, and I was like, "Fuck, man!"
Yeah.
But I've always
but we didn't. Yeah, that's not quite there.
No, that's part of it.
But bruv, the names up on that, there was like Sari.
Yeah.
Who else am I
all the
thinking?
usual
I can't
suspects.
remember. Like bare heads.
Yeah. And it
all
got
the
done
usual
quite-
suspects, but then like extras.
and I remember when it was first getting done, like there was the first few names, and then immediately after a couple names would come on, then another, because like you said, it was so long, it took a while to fill up, and then eventually it got filled up. You know what I mean? And and it's like how wide is the ledge to stand on? Is it a meter or less than a meter?
No, it's less than that.
Right. Okay.
You can lie on. If I lay on it, it's like that's how from shoulder
wow.
to shoulder.
I mean, it's not a humongous drop. I reckon you'd survive that drop, but you'd hurt yourself falling off there, man. It was at least one, like, you know, a first-story building high. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe
you can't fall off that drop.
No, you don't want to. I know you'd hurt yourself, but I'm saying you wouldn't die.
It's just the tracks at the bottom. There's no like leeway. You'd
You'd
fucking lucky if you don't electrocute yourself.
That's true as well. Yeah.
That's the district runs. You seen that photo I've got?
Yeah.
Of me and Diet, because we have to lie down, and it's going past like that.
Yeah, you can see the top of the train is literally.
And I just go like that
at your height. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking. That's because we're lying down. But that's how. I mean, no, I'm talking about the closeness of it.
Yeah.
It's like half a foot away, and then it's the pick, but the pick always stops there. There's like a red light for the Piccadilly just there.
Yeah, man. Jokes. So Baron Court's ledge, that's a good one as well. But all the ones...
And that's a sick reach, yeah. But you see what the reach he mentioned as well, the Turnham Green reach.
Yeah.
I never did that reach back in the day, but that reach, there was a Vizzo there. Bro, that reach was sick. Yeah. Sick reach. I think there was a big nerve there. But there was obviously lots of people there over the years.
We did it in the late
sick
90s.
Reach.
I remember we got on there from the Turnham Green Park, climbed over the fence, got up the little hill thing. I don't think it's like that anymore. I don't know if you can get up there the same way. But we did
two big fences.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Before it was just a little fence, and we did it, and you're fully exposed to Turnham Green. You know what I mean? They just because you're up on a hill bit on the side. But if you do it at night, then you're relatively hidden away. Because we didn't clock. Because the thing is, there's the district line runs on either side, and then the wall is holding up where the Piccadilly line runs. You know what I mean? And so, isn't it like that? Yeah. Or is it the other way around? No, it's that way. And then there's a tunnel that links the two district lines. That's where you'd got a dub on there and a couple other heads. That's slightly hidden away. But then we painted the wall a bit further down towards the station, like, you know, coming up to that bit.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's trees.
Wasn't there an Asia on there at one time?
Yeah.
And then they've got a bit further down as well. If you do them tracks, you get to that hut as well.
Yeah.
Debug and Stay. And who else got a piece on there? Tents. Debug, Stay, and Tents. I've got sick pieces on there.
Salute them lot.
You can see it when you come out you got oh man, they're sick. I'm going to try and get a photo of that for the pod.
Dope.
Been there for a while now as well. It's nice to see pieces like that there.
Yeah.
But that bit there, you see how we're talking about it now? That bit there's always been sick, bruv. But for me, coming down the stairs at Gunnersbury Station, You know the stairs at Gunnersbury?
Yeah, yeah.
And then like as you're getting to the platform, the rails are there. And there was like a devised piece there. It was sick. I got a theme piece. I did a theme piece there, and I can't believe I don't have a photo of it. Like it was, I took photos of it. Just gutted. And at the bottom of Gunnersbury Station was there was always like a Vizzo and an Aki and a Pause and then all them lot were all they did Obey, Omen, Kin. That was like their spot.
Yeah.
You know, Vega.
Because that was
Plot.
the train, because they were all from that Southwest, Richmond, Q.
Yeah, them men were like
Ham.
battering. They battered it everywhere, but they were like from Richmond and around them sides. Like,
So that was the
Twickenham,
Richmond
Chelsea,
line
St. Margaret.
from
It
Turnham
was that
Green.
school that enough of them went to the same school.
Yeah,
Like loads of them.
I know.
Can't remember
Well, a
that
lot of them
school.
went to Richmond College, but a lot of them went
I was
to...
going to go.
Oh, fuck, what's it called? My mates all went there. Fucking Riddler went there as well, MC Riddler. Grey Court School. It was the name of the school. I think
Maybe
it was in
Grey
Ham.
Court.
Ham or in Sheen or some shit like that. Yeah, Grey Court. I had some friends that went there. But yeah, a lot of
Bruv,
them,
I was trying to do that reach so many times, yeah.
Hmm.
And now I've got there's an easy get on for that.
What,
Big up
Gunnersbury?
Akit, big up Akit and big up Diet.
Yeah.
That reach around Turnham Green there.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
one time, yeah, I got on at fucking Gunnersbury Triangle.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I was first getting back into Graff, I was taking it way too over seriously, yeah, to do like a trackside. Way too much, like laughingly too much. Like the day before, I had all this like ladder set up behind their hut. They would like gambling, they wouldn't see it. So I don't have to move it, don't have to make any noise. I can just nip in there, go up the ladder, and I'm over the fence. That fence there is like fucking, 8 foot, 9 foot? Like, there's no point in doing these things at all.
Isn't it?
Plus, it's miles away, yeah, when you're actually going on foot. Yeah, miles away.
Crazy, yeah.
And trains are still running, but I'm desperate to do that. Do you know what I wasn't? What that reach doesn't exist. There's another reach I'm desperate to do around that area. But I've got on at that place there, and I walk towards and then get to that place where opposite Zelos.
Yeah.
But like before that, before like the supermarket, and before that, like there's like the rental van and shit, and I'm like, right, I could have just got on. I'm a dick, yeah. And I have to run through that bit of tunnel.
Uh-huh.
And I've never been in that tunnel. I can't remember. I haven't been on that bit of the line for ages, because that's like from Kew Gardens to like Gunnersbury or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, right, how long is this tunnel? How am I going to do it? This is like 4 years ago. It's not like very long time ago. Completely on my J's with kids, and I'm like, I've got to do that fucking reach, and pelt it through that fucking tunnel. And the train doesn't come, but it does come soon after. I've got nowhere to duck because I've gone past like that bit where like the rent vans is and shit. I'm just on the fucking track. The Piccadilly's still running on the top, and then there's like I can hear noise, and I've just got to that bit where that building on the left where like pies and like I think there used to be like a gunja on there or a gun on there. It's one stage back in the day.
Yeah.
That building there was sick. And a Vega and people like that had pieces on the glass now where like Arwell's got a piece, and other people up there got a piece. Kiffs.
Yeah.
And that's a sick read. I had to jump in there, and the train's like, and I'm just lying in these nettles, and like, there's this fox fucking like looking at me, and I'm thinking, bro, what's going on? Waiting for the train to go by. And I look up because the Piccadilly's a bit higher on like that mound, just like a mound of shit, but it's got tracks and it goes higher.
Yeah.
And I look at and they're just bare clays just working there. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, I've come the longest way of all time to get to that reach, like a dick.
There's bare clay.
Like a toy amateur, like just getting back. I've got to like do some crap. And then got there, can't do it. And I got this one reach. It's going to be there forever. But this one reach on like the wrong side where the train's like up here. You're never going to see it. There, right. At least I got that reach. You know what I mean? That's where I fell in the bush.
You did something
in this fucking bush, and that fucking cut. There's a fat cat silver.
Yeah,
and then I went back. And I went back the same way. Went back through the tunnel, dusting, shit in my bed, like scolding myself in my head, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Man. Yo, listen.
And when I did that reach, I just hopped on straight on near it and just walked up and did it. Fucking beautiful. Fuck.
Yeah, man. All right, cool. Listen, guys, thank you for that. Sorry, because time is running out. I don't want to go too much over an hour. Man.
Theme's going overboard on the reaches.
No, that's all.
Shut up, theme.
Thank you for that question, man. Keep sending them questions in. All right.
We haven't answered the question. I don't know what.
Yeah, you said Boston Manor Ledge, and I said the Eleanor Wilson
Boston
Wall.
Manor Ledge,
or whatever it's fucking called.
Boston Manor,
not Boston Manor. What was it called?
Let's call it Boston Manor Ledge.
No, what was it called again? It begins with a B, you know? Barron's Court Ledge. There we go. Barron's Court. All right.
Barron's Court, West Kent.
Yeah.
Ledge.
We
People
knew it as
call
the Barron's Court
Kent
Ledge, man. But yo, big up for that, man. Let's get into your tune, and then I want to chat about a little something, and then hopefully we'll get a quick critique in there.
This guy.
Yeah.
We were talking, we were having a podcast. We were doing something. We were doing Big Up Daz. I think it was Daz's podcast.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't fucking Daz. Big Up Daz, but it was someone. And I was with you, and I mentioned this geezer, and like, it's Trap. It was Trappy. It's one of the questions, like, who are you not feeling? And I said about music. And I said
Trappy.
This geezer.
Okay, yeah. What's his name? Silou.
Silou.
Silou. I thought it was French. When you sent it to me, I thought, it was French hip hop, but then I gave it a quick.
He was born in the UK, yeah?
Uh-huh.
But before he was one, his Ghanaian parents sent him back to Ghana.
Okay.
Well, not back because he's never been, but they said, you're going Ghana.
Yeah.
So, and he lived there with his gran.
Okay.
And then he came back, I think he was like 8-9 years old. So he's like, fully learned the rhythm. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can tell in his music, like, I like this guy's music, bruv. I like his style. I like he's completely individual. He's like, I'm fucking feeling it.
It's dope. This track's called Belly. It's got.
But then he went to jail. He went to fucking jail in England.
Right.
In December 2022.
Oh shit! Okay, recent.
And then this tune, Belly, he released it on his Instagram, and there was like, oh shit, he's posted this tune. He's come out, he's out of jail or whatever. Played this, and I was like, yo, I like the vibe, bro. Like the video, he's sick.
And what's that music that comes out of Ghana with the dance, and they all do the mad dancing to it? I can't remember what it's fucking called, but it's fucking beautiful and it's amazing.
Shocker,
no, it's got a fuck. I'm gonna look it up while we listen to it. All right, this is Silou, a track called
Silou.
Belly. Let's go.
Bad man.
The belly.
Hit the belly. Wow, it's a sick tune, man. I have to say. Respect to
I love people like that. I love people that don't give a shit and just do like their music like that. You can tell he's got a different rhythm, different style, different pattern. Like, I love that shit.
It's dope, man. It's good shit, man. Really like that. I'm going to get into some of his stuff. I'm going to check it out. But what I wanted to bring up today was the other day I went to a book launch. And it was this book here by a guy called Ben McIntyre. It's a book called The Siege. The reason why I want to talk about this and the reason why I was at the launch of this book is because my dad had some involvement. My dad was a hostage at the Iranian Embassy Siege in 1980. 6 gunmen took over the Iranian embassy here in High Street, in Kensington. The embassy, they took it over for 6 days, and then the SAS got called out. This was before anyone knew what the SAS even was. You know what I mean? It was a thing for a while, but then they got pulled out on British soil. You know what I mean? On live TV. Again, it was so many firsts with this thing. It was broadcast live on TV, the whole thing, which was strange for the time because of the technology had got to that point then. And yeah, my dad happened to be there because he was a journalist. He was just there to interview the ambassador, the Iranian ambassador at the time. And so he just turned up that day. And boom, he got swept up into a fucking hostage situation.
That is mad.
It's absolutely mental.
Going to work there as a contractor on a day thing,
just for one day,
a day's thing.
And the fucked up thing is, my dad was trying to find a parking space, so he was 10 minutes late to his meeting. Yeah, because he couldn't find a parking space, and then he got there, and then if he was an extra 10 minutes late, he would have missed the whole thing. Like, it was that nuts. Yeah. Basically, Ben McIntyre, this guy,
Oh my
he's a
God.
historian, and he done a couple of books about the SAS where he got intel from the SAS, because they're a highly secretive organization. But because
I just wanna say, because you're sounding like people like in the SAS might watch this, bro. The SAS was like around way before this raid, way before.
Yeah.
And like the roots of it go back to this like Second World War and shit.
Yeah, but it was relatively secretive. You know what I mean? They weren't like, this was when this incident happened.
Fine.
That's when most people found out that the SAS exists. You know what I mean? They were around for before. You're right. But this guy Ben McIntyre, he did a few books about the SAS, so he has mad links with them. And this book, because my dad, before he passed away, about 4 years ago now, he was writing a book about his experience in the Iranian embassy. He was writing a big book. He was spending many years writing it, but then obviously he passed away before he could really finish it. So Ben asked for that book, because the thing is about this incident, most documentaries, most movies, most books about it, which there's been hundreds and hundreds of them about it, they mainly focus on the SAS part, because that's the exciting part. And it was ultimately looked at as a success. They were successful in their mission. So a lot of people focus on the SAS bit, but it's so deep. Like the political intrigue, the dynamic between the hostages and the gunmen, and through 5 days in there at that moment in time, and all, like I said, the politics behind it and all the stuff that was happening was pretty deep, man. And my dad's book,
who was the Prime Minister? Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher was literally only a year into her premiership at the time, and this incident, the way she was kind of praised for her handling of it, kind of set the mood for the rest of her leadership. And then onwards into this whole war on terror that we live with, 9/11, all these things like, we don't negotiate with terrorism and all that stuff. Like, this all kind of spawned from that incident. Obviously, several incidences, but this was definitely one of the major ones, because it was so heavily broadcast. And it was like, at one point, the whole world was watching, on the 6th day when the SAS finally came in.
That is so mad that your dad was just going there, for work,
just to interview.
He wasn't there the day before. He's just going there that day,
just to see him that morning, just to go see
the place gets overrun by hostages.
And there was another.
Who was it who did that?
So my dad was there. He was just waiting in the lobby to interview the ambassador. Waiting. There was 2 other British guys there, Sim Harris and another guy, I can't remember his name. They work for the BBC. They were trying to get visas to go to Iran, because they were about to go to Iran for some reason, to film or whatever.
Yeah, but who stormed it?
I'm going to tell you. And then there was Trevor Locke, who was a policeman who was on duty at the embassy, and then the rest of the people were Iranians. Yeah. Now at like fucking 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever time it was, 6 gunmen. They were from Iran, but the south of Iran, there was a place called Arabistan or Kazakhstan or something, but it's mainly called Arabistan, and it's the oil-rich part of Iran. And just not too long before, the Ayatollah Khomeini took over Iran. Yeah, there was a big coup, and he kicked out the main leader, and he took over, and he was a very Islamic fundamentalist kind of dude. Yeah, but he took over the country, and the people living in Arabistan, which was part of Iran, they wanted their independence. And they thought, the Ayatollah Khomeini will help us do this. But it was the opposite. The Ayatollah Khomeini actually clamped down on them even more. So Saddam, who was beefing with the Ayatollah Khomeini and all that, he was sending people into Arabistan, finding all the fanatics there, the young guys who were like against the Ayatollah Khomeini, and told them, yo, we'll train you, and we'll send you on missions to whatever, to find independence or whatever. So Saddam Hussein was behind it. He got 6 young men. They were like 22, 24. I think the oldest gunman was 25, 26 years old. And he trained them, sent them to London. armed them. They had Kalashnikovs. They had 6 grenades, Russian grenades, mainly Russian arms, a couple of handguns, a couple of machine guns, and a couple of grenades, basically. And then
Really?
Yeah,
They had all of that.
they had all of that. And so they basically, the plan, like this is my, so when they took over the embassy, they came in, they licked off bare shots. They grabbed up Trevor Locke, the policeman who was there. And then Trevor Locke had on his lapel a little button, like emergency button, and he managed to press it. So he alerted the authorities, but that's all he could do. Then they grabbed him up and tied him up and stuff.
Big
and
Trev.
they
At
took
least he
yeah. And Trevor Locke had a gun in his holster that they.
I was gonna say I read somewhere something.
They never found it. The terrorist, the gunman, they never found it. So he had it on him the whole fucking time, man. So just think of that, like. Trying to work
He
out.
decided not to use it because he'd probably get murked.
He'll get murked, and other people will get murked. You know what I mean? Like it was a mad game. But then it came to use right at the end as well. Yeah, and so they put all the non-Iranians in one room, which was my dad, the 2 BBC guys, Trevor Locke, and a couple of people who worked in the embassy who weren't Iranian. And then the rest of the hostages, I think there were 26 hostages in total, and they had about 6, 7 in this room, and about 20 Iranians who were under threat in the other room. And their demands were, and the reason why they chose Britain instead of like America or some other Western countries, because they thought Britain would empathize with their plight because Britain were against the Ayatollah Khomeini. Yeah, this is how naive and dumb these kids were and how brainwashed they were. They were actually told by Saddam and all them lot that if you do this mission, you'll survive it. Don't worry, the Brits are pushover. The Brits are easy to deal with. That they've, and also the free.
So he flew them over to England from where? Iran?
From Iraq. From Iraq. Yeah.
And they were unarmed, and then he's got the Russians through Putin.
No, well,
probably.
yeah, I'm sure Putin, maybe not Putin, whoever was
what was his name?
Gorbachev?
With like the
with the birthmark on his head. Remember that guy? And no, but it was actually.
But no, they've armed them in England.
But they might not have got it through the Russians in England. Like they would have bought the arms from Russia, but the Russians wouldn't have.
I'm just trying to think, like the size of the operation is pretty decent.
Yeah,
because you're flying these kids over, brainwashing them, but then you've got to arm them in England.
It's in and there's so many new pictures that I haven't seen in this book. There's a couple of my dad from the SAS reconnaissance, because when they found out my dad, obviously they find out who all the people in the building are, and then they do research on them. And obviously my dad used to work for the PLO, and he used to, so he was on their records, and so loads of new information has come out since how gradually they release bits of information and stuff. So now most of the information is out, and Ben McIntyre's got access to all of them. At the launch of this book, I met Hector. This guy Hector, he was the head of the SAS at the time. He's like an old man now on a fucking walking stick, you know what I mean? But I got to shake his hand and say safe to him. A couple of SAS members who were actually involved with there as well. And obviously Sim Harris was there, and his daughters and his wife, and my mum was there, my brother, and everyone. We was all there. It was cool to experience. And they've basically my dad has always kind of been heralded as the unsung hero of the whole incident, because he was not under threat from the gunman, because he was Syrian, he's not Iranian, and he was a journalist, so he had connects to journalists and stuff and to the outside world to broadcast the message from the gunman, you know what I mean, to get their message out there if that's what they wanted. And also he spoke fluent Arabic and fluent English, so he was basically translating. And Sim Harris has said many times that if my dad hadn't been there, then tensions could have got a lot higher. You know what I mean? And the gunman would have been a lot more.
Obviously, they would have. Definitely, they would have.
Exactly. And so
he's translating into English.
Yeah, and so my dad's
a massive asset.
He's out of the window trying to negotiate with a gun in the back of his head, trying to chat to the police outside. My dad. And Sim,
really?
Yeah, you know what I mean. And he's on the phone. My dad's on the phone to Margaret Thatcher, with a gun to his head again, trying to fucking
chatting to Marge.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
He's not.
Yeah,
he's chatting to Marge.
To everyone.
He's heard her accent.
and it's just. And so these kids were so naive. These gunmen, they were literally, like I said, 21. I think the youngest one was like 19, 20, and the oldest one was like 25, 26.
24.
Yeah, something like that. And so they were young, naive. Their plan was to overtake the embassy. Their demands were the release of 91 political prisoners in the jail in Iran. They wanted the Ayatollah Khomeini to release these prisoners. So that was their demands, yeah? It was never going to fucking happen. Saddam Hussein knew it was never going to happen. My dad knew instantly that was never going to. Everyone knew it was never going to happen, and except for the six gunmen. And no one wanted to tell him because they were like, yo, they didn't want to fuck with it. They thought they were going to get their demands met. They'd go to the airport, get in a flight back, like with the hostages, and then release the hostages once they arrived to their destination, to Iraq or whatever.
They thought they would. Wait.
They thought they were going to
Let's
get
just
away.
run past that again.
Yeah.
They thought, they were going to kidnap everyone.
Yeah.
And move them to the airport.
That was the plan.
And like walk through the airport, walk through customs, obviously with guns pointed. Yeah. Get to the captain's going to be ready, like waiting for them, like through no radio whatsoever. They're just going to bowl over there, just do it, and fly back to where, and then like
Iraq,
when we get back to Iraq, and then say, right, we're cool, get off. Everyone gets off, and just whoever was in that building is then phoning their missus.
They thought,
I'm in Iraq.
They were that naive. They thought they were going to be able to get away with it, man.
Gee,
and just think the stress, like he's told me so many times, and like I've mentioned, we've had every year since that incident, we've had reunions every year. All the hostages that were involved that didn't die got to get together, and gradually more people would get involved. Like when the SAS finally revealed themselves, we had SAS members come to my house and we'd have dinner with them and they'd tell their side.
Is this the 80s it happened?
It happened in 1980, exactly. My mum was pregnant with me at the time. So this is 40
at the very beginning of the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. And so man, it's just been a mad thing. It's been a big part of my life, you know what I mean? And my dad's life, obviously, talking about it. He's been on many documentaries.
Your dad was translating out the window with a gun to the back of his head.
Yeah, imagine.
From like I've been trained for 6 weeks, 22-year-old guy.
Yeah. My dad said
they would
fucking
sit in the room.
He said they would sit in a room, and one of the more mental dudes who was in there, he said the leader guy had his head screwed on, and he actually he could reason with this guy, but there was one of the gunmen. He would sit there with a grenade and the pin of the grenade, and just twirl the grenade like that around in his on the pin with the pin. And my dad would just be looking at this guy, going, "What the fuck is going on, man?" You know what I mean? Like it's such a nuts experience for him. But then they kind of, how it is, what do they call it? Stockholm syndrome to a certain degree. And also there's another syndrome, it's called Lima syndrome, where the gunmen start empathizing with the hostages. And then the hostages, they're in this room for like 5 days, and they're trying to get this thing finished, you know what I'm saying, and over with. It was only supposed to last a couple of days or whatever they thought it was going to be. Yeah? My dad knew the police are like, someone's going to break in and it's going to end in fucking blood. My dad knew this was going to happen. My dad's main concern was that they'd think he was a gunman and shoot him. That was his main concern. He wasn't as concerned about the gunman shooting him because he was Iranian, you know what I mean? They were only threatening the Iranians.
But he's like, from this moment on, I'm not saying yella. That's it. I'm saying, let's go.
There's all these crazy things, like the SAS took over both the buildings on both sides of the main embassy, and they were drilling holes in the wall, and the terrorists could hear like squeaking, going, "Hey, can you hear that?" And then Sim Harris and my dad were going, "No, it's just mice. It's just mice." They knew some shit was happening, and then they were like, "No, it's just."
Was that the blag? It's just mice.
Yeah, and then in the end, I think they called into Heathrow. And
was that really the blag?
Check this out. And then they
what's going on? No, it's just mice. I've been here for years.
Mice, yeah.
It's just mice. I know they're mice.
They had to say something, and then they got the planes to fly lower over the embassy. All the chartered flights that were flying, they called Heathrow and they said, "Fly the planes extra low." So they'd be extra loud so that they wouldn't hear the drilling, so they could stick their microphones in. It was a crazy whole thing. And it's all like, it's the most intensely documented documented version of what happened in those things. And he got resources from the SAS, from my dad, from Sim Harris, from everyone who was involved in the siege. Yeah. And it's also, he told us on the, because we were in the after party for the book launch or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it wasn't an after party, it was a couple of hors d'oeuvres and wine, and we were chilling with Ben and everyone.
That's a very book launch kind of after party.
And he told us it's been picked up by a TV production company. They're going to make a 6-part series. I don't know on what platform yet, if it's going to be Netflix or
I was going to say, surely this has been on TV already.
Well, they've made documentaries. They've made a film with that guy, that British actor with the bald head. I can't fucking remember his name.
What, recently?
No, it came out, I think, in 2015, 2014.
Like Jason, whatever his name is.
No, not Jason Statham, but one of them type of guys, man. I never actually watched it. It was really shit.
The British Bruce Willis.
Yeah, my dad and my brother watched it. They said it was complete bullshit, Hollywood bullshit. You know what I mean? And it was just, and even the character who played my dad.
American Navy SEALs came in.
They even changed the name of the person playing. Instead of Karkuti, they called him Karkuri. Yeah, they changed the T to an R. I think so they wouldn't have to get my dad's permission to use his likeness or some shit. They just used complete liberties. It's got nothing to. It wasn't based in truth at all. Yeah. So all the attempts of making a dramatized version of this, they just never had the right amount of intel about what happened, or they just tried to glorify the whole SAS part of it. You know what I mean? There's been
didn't realize. Obviously, I knew it happened, but I didn't realize your pops had spoken to Margaret Thatcher on the blower.
He was.
Hello, girl.
He was the main dude.
While you're at it, stop the old poll tax. Starts getting involved.
Look,
could have been head of state.
There's a picture of my dad and Margaret Thatcher afterwards, man. And anyway, like,
sick.
I don't want to get too mad deep into it, man. But
also, like, he was a negotiator.
He was thrust in a position where he had to do something, man.
So he started negotiating.
Yeah, he had to do what he had to do.
That's that's like profoundly involved.
It's a super G, man, to have
that's
dealt
a super
with that.
G. I bet he did it mad calm as well.
I mean, man, he got mad like ulcers and shit from the stress. Like the dude, he suffered for it and I couldn't play with any guns when I was a kid growing up. I couldn't really watch movies with guns in the house. Obviously I did when I was outside of the house at my mates and at Frez's house or whatever, but in my house he would never let me have toy guns. All this shit affected him quite profoundly, man. You know what I mean?
In the background there's always this little Ali with his hand grenade in his hand, or with the grenade in his hand, often would come, even if it wasn't his shift. He'll just storm into the middle of the building and look with wide, big, open eyes in the faces of the Iranian hostages, inviting them for trouble, So that was pretty scary. I mean, whenever he showed up, just his mere physical appearance was enough to send fear into our spine, tell the truth. But he just wanted to kill somebody. I mean, it was pretty obvious.
Really?
Yeah, and on all the documentaries where they interview my dad about it, on most of them he cries when it comes to the bit, because on the 5th day, my dad fell terribly ill. Man, he got crazy cramp. Like I said, he developed these ulcers in his stomach through stress, and he desperately wanted to stay in there because he knew if he left, it would all go to shit. But also, he didn't want to stay in there, obviously, as well. Yeah,
because he needs to get out and get medical attention.
But he fell extremely sick on the 5th day. He was all pale, sweating. He was curled up on a ball. He couldn't stand up. So the terrorists, because they'd been with him now for 5 days and he'd helped them out so much and, like made the situation a bit better for them, if you want to call it that, they let him go on the 5th day. And so he was the last bit of intel. So obviously immediately when he left there, he went straight to hospital, and all the SAS intel guys like harangued my dad about all the last minute details. Who's got what weapon? Which rooms are they in? What, you know what I mean? Because they were about to jump in there because they just killed one of the hostages. They took him and exterminated him. No, what's the word when you just kill someone straight?
Tapped him.
No, not assassinate, but there's a word where you just kill someone. Yeah, they killed one of the hostages. And Thatcher said from the beginning, she said, they can maneuver with one. If only one hostage dies, they can still negotiate. If 2 hostages die, that's it. There's no negotiating. We're going in and fucking them up. So they killed that first guy and they dumped his body out the front and they carried him off. That's
Who first guy?
This guy called Levasani.
They just killed some first guy.
No, because on the 5th day, this is when just before my dad fell ill.
So they let your dad out.
No, before. Oh yeah. They let my dad out, and then they went into the Iranian room. There was one guy, one of the hostages in the Iranian part. His name was Levasani. He was working for the Ayatollah Khomeini. He was in the embassy, but he was a very loyal follower of Ayatollah Khomeini. So he was constantly arguing with the gunmen, shouting at them, chatting shit. My dad would always slap him around the face. My dad would be like, "Shut the fuck up! Don't chat to them like that." You know what I mean? Like, they're going to kill us, man, if you keep acting like that. And he was like, "I want to be martyred. I don't care." You know what I mean? Like, he was one of them type of dudes. And my dad was just like, "Shut the fuck up, bro." And literally, my dad slapped him around the face and had to pin
Round
him.
the chops, bro.
At one point, he found a pen and he wrote on the wall, like, pro Ayatollah Khomeini slogans in this wall. And then the gunmen saw it and they were going to beat him up. And then my dad intervened, stopped them from doing it, and that's when my dad slapped him and said, "Stop fucking around. You're gonna get us all
That's
killed."
when your dad should have just said, "Yeah, lads,
Yeah, you know what?
lads, give him a fucking kicking because he's fucking it up for all of us."
Well, in the end, after my dad went out, they went in, took that guy, took him down into the basement.
They capped him.
And they capped him. And then they said, "We're going to kill a hostage every half an hour until you meet our demands." What we're doing is 6 days now, man. What the fuck? You know what I mean? And then
they're fuming now. They're actually fuming.
And my dad's not there, and everyone's just stress level just went up
through the roof.
And then they said, "Okay, we're gonna kill a hostage every half an hour," and then they pretended to kill a hostage. They just licked off some shots. And they said, "Look, we're going to kill one now," and then they were, but they didn't actually shoot one. But on the outside, they thought, "Oh shit, they killed another person. Time for the SAS." They called the SAS, and they were just sitting there, just drooling to get in there. You know, the SAS, they've been training their whole life.
These 23-year-old kids from Iraq who've been given like a 6-week camp with Saddam's mates. Yeah. It's so good.
And these dudes, the SAS, are just outside, just waiting to go.
And they know what weapon. Your dad's given them
told them
way more information than they usually have.
And they built, like, you know, they'd gone deep in, like, it's all in this book. It's crazy.
That's like, see you later.
That's
a proper see you later.
And it was all on live TV. Also, as well, I should mention,
any SAS injured.
One of them got, because they were rappelled down from the ceiling, from the roof, and some came in from the bottom. And one of the guys rappelling down, his rappel got hooked and he couldn't get untied. And they had these frame bombs where they put them on top of the frame of the window, and then they blew out the windows, you know. And this guy was still hanging there, and I think he got 3rd-degree burns in his leg or something. But other than that, I think everyone survived. But then then when they took it over, all the gunmen threw their guns out of the window and then pretended they were hostages. And so then when the SAS were like, so they took out a couple of the gunmen. They took out a couple of the but then they kicked all the hostages out of the building, but then they arrested all the hostages and tied them all up. All the hostages got handcuffed, yeah? And then all the hostages were like, "They're the terrorists, that's the terrorist, that's one of the," and then they all pointed at all the gunmen, and then they grabbed the gunmen, dragged them back into the building and killed them. Because their job was to kill the gunman. There wasn't rescue the hostages and you know, arrest the gunman. No, they were like, kill the gunman and save the hostages. So they took them back in and killed them, except for one guy, the leader, the main leader guy. He survived. They took him to trial, took him into prison, and he came out of prison. He spent 30-something years in prison. Now he's out of prison, living in England somewhere.
Is he?
Yeah. And he sent my dad a letter.
Really?
Yeah. He sent.
What kind of thing did it say? What kind of
apologizing, saying, "I'm sorry,
really?
I put you through that. That's fucked up." You know what I mean? I was naive. I was a kid. You know what I mean? I didn't know what was going on. Like it was a mad. Obviously, my dad didn't reply. He didn't want nothing to do with him. You know what I mean? But we got a fucking letter, man. I think he's an Uber driver in Birmingham. That's what I heard. But I mean, fuck knows, man. He's under, I swear you might be. So if you're living in Birmingham, you catch an Uber, you might be with that guy.
I was trying not to laugh, but you can't say that. You can't say it like that.
I mean, he spent like over 35, whatever years in prison and shit. But yeah, that's just crazy. Yo, we went well over an hour, man. We don't want to.
Big up to Mustafa, man.
Fuck Graff critique, man. But yeah,
that was a sensational story.
Just last bit. Ben McIntyre is actually going to be on the Alexei Sayle podcast. He's already recorded the episode, so it should be coming out in the next couple of weeks, which my brother produces and he co-hosts with Alexei Sayle, legendary British comedian. So so that will be a sick episode to check out. So it's not dropped yet, but it will come out in a couple of weeks. So go check out the Alexei Sayle podcast. And go buy this book. It's on Amazon. You can buy it, or you can buy it from any good bookshop. It's like about 12 quid or something. So if you're interested and you want to check it out, go check that book out. All right.
It's a very good story.
Shout out my pops, Mustafa Karkuti, legendary dude. Yeah, nuts, man. But yo, listen, peace, party people. We've gone way over an hour. Salute my brother theme. We're gonna go out to this classic 90s hip-hop track by OC.
Thanks to all the people that said the intro tune to the last episode was sick.
Salute. That is a sick.
That was very good of you to say that. It is quite a banger, that.
I
think I'm going to release it and say, yo, so it'll be available to get.
Yes.
With a B-side on it on the other side called Medusa.
And I said I would
both made by Ilmu Sporadic.
Yes, big ups Ilmu Sporadic, IMS. All right.
Yes.
So there was two people who won the Fliptrix CD and the Fliptrix tape.
Flip to the trick.
I picked up H3, HAYCH3. He said, "You don't know nothing about no Walkman, bruv. Tape, please." Oh, yeah. He wants the tape. So you get the tape, brother. Hit us up on the Instagram and I'll send that to you. Good. And then the next one, the CD goes to Flynn K4J, FLYNN-K4J. That's his YouTube handle. Hit us up on Instagram. You've won the CD. He said, "Looks like the E is breastfeeding off the S." That's from your Graff critique.
That is the Graff critique.
Theme's Graff criticism cracks me up. My best friend is a huge fan of Flippy from his early days of Fliptrix. If you pick me, I'd give it to him. We are both writers from Newcastle. All right.
And they're from the tune, man!
From the tune. Big up Flynn, K4J.
Oh, you didn't have to see all that.
And H3. Hit us up. Let us know, and I'll send you those CDs and tape to you guys, man. Much love. Let's go out to this OC. Oh yeah, everyone, leave a comment, leave a like, all that stuff.
Yeah, leave us some juicy comments.
What do they win if they leave a comment?
I was thinking we've got to go to Chrome and Black. I was just thinking about that when you were just doing your little roundup there. Like our mate Ben from the BBC. That was Arm's house to your mum's house.
I'll tell you what.
I was thinking we need to go C&B.
Yeah.
I need to buy some shit anyway, and then get a couple of bits. We say cowboy, bruv.
Yeah, but we
couple of bits.
Not for this episode. Let's think of a.
No, not for this episode. For this episode, you have to be lucky that we're fucking here doing it for everyone's benefit and listening pleasure. It's a sensational bit of kit. All you have to do is log in every Wednesday and listen to fucking Arm's House.
So leave a comment below, my party people. Let's go out to this tune, a classic, I think, slept on album by OC, who's part of DITC, Digging in the Crates. He's down with, Farrah Munch, all them lot. He's an ill fucking MC, man. He did an album called Word Life. I love that album. Word. You can't skip any tracks on there. It's a sick one. This was a track produced by Buckwild, the title track called Word Life, son.
Arm's House, episode 97. 3 more till the big one, baby.
It's a podcast called Arm's House to Your Mum's House. Arm's House to Your Mum's House. Arm's House to Your Mum's House.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let the chime be a part of your mind. Let the rhyme intertwine like a vine. Work your mentally found intellect. I raise eyes like the sight of a tech. Let's take a trip inside of my thoughts. Well, I persevere on the mic like sports. Take me in stride, OC's worth listening. Watch the tricks of a hoe who's a vixen. Tender eyes, the only leading to a hard on. Touching tongue stick, two to be a part on. I'm ax relaxed, smooth it out like a sax. One of my goals is to make fast stacks. Then I flip the money to establish a business. This here beat, you see I already quizzed it. I gave it a test for the rhyme linguistics. Honey wanna kiss, gotta remove the lipstick. I dig lips with natural juices. Soft and lickable, not rough and ruthless. Because of many people I've been denied. Gas in my tank taking me for a ride. But I'm alright now, smooth as the turnpike. Cause of my squad organized and searchlight. Meditate daily I do, so I sort things I consider in my mind as deep thought. Ride the wave, do me a favor. Give it a chance if a nigga has flavor.
Do you think I need to go and paint that yellow BR, bruv?